because it's frozen. I can't even.
Hello, everyone who's listening. We're just waiting to do the recording so we can record for the podcast. Welcome if you're on Facebook. Nice to see everyone. It's great to have you guys here. We love having you on a Friday morning.
There's always the potential for a little hiccup, isn't there?
It's life, though. Life is a hiccup, right?
Yes,
I have a weird flick in my hair today. That's a hiccup. Look at that.
I think it looks gorgeous. All right, I'm pressing record and we're ready to go. And
good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and that means it's bite-sized conversations with me, Jenni Walke from Elephant in the Room Consulting, and Kylie Mowbray-Allen, my digital BFF from Hello Media. How are you this morning, Kylie?
I'm really great. So good to see you here, Jenni. How are you doing?
As your sign says, Friday mornings, this is where the magic happens on a Friday morning, where we get to chat about awesome things that help people with their businesses, their lives, their families, whatever it is we want to talk about. But today, my topic that I wanted you to talk about, I'm so excited about because I have no idea about these things. And this is the one thing that's like that, you know, when you're a business owner, what is that one little thing? And it's keywords. And we hear about keywords, keyword searching, Google keywords, AdWords, all those things that have happened since the internet kind of came to being. And you are a master of keywords. So I'd love to chat to you today about keywords.
I'm excited to talk to you about that. I'm not sure that I'm the master of them, but I love talking about keywords, long tail and short form keywords.
See, you're saying things, and I'm sure people are going, what does she mean? So let's start at the start. So what are keywords?
Keywords are the way that you'll get found when people are searching for something. So if you are searching for a wedding photographer, if you type in wedding photographer, depending on your own Google settings, then you're going to see wedding photographers come into your whether you're looking them up on Google or whether you're looking them up on YouTube or wherever it is that you're looking them up. So it's all about how you're going to get found is by what keywords you're using.
So keywords are like when I type into Google and says, how do I bake a cake, for example?
Yes.
Would that be considered is that like a keyword search?
That is a long tail keyword. So cake would be the short keyword or just the keyword, but the long tail, that's the one that we really need to focus on. That's the one where you're going to get really specific in getting your answers. So yeah, as you know, you type in cake, anything could happen. But how do I bake a lemon cheesecake? That would get you some really good specific things. And we want my business to show up with that exact search phrase. So we want that phrase woven into my content through my website to make sure that I appear.
But why are they important? I mean, if I'm selling coaching and I'm having or you're selling digital marketing and we've got business coaching, why are they important for people who want to find our business?
Because without a keyword, then Google's got nothing to latch on to know that, Google has to be directed to show you something. So by us having the keywords, you looking for those keywords, that's a beautiful match. If you don't have keywords and someone's putting them in, then there's going to be no match showing up. So without keywords, it's going to be a hard slog. One thing I want to mention at this point that I see happening from time to time is people not putting any words on their homepage. They have beautiful graphics, and in the graphics, there are words embedded. They might have made it in Canva or Photoshop or something. So Google can't read those words. So there's like some nice little trends going on where you go to the website and there's a beautiful video playing, and then that's it. And then you kind of got to figure out how to enter to get into the site. So, really we need some really good keywords on that homepage to make sure that we're going to show up in the way that we want to.
The keywords are kind of like the navigation tool that Google uses to find us on the web. Is that kind of a way of saying it?
Yeah, that could be. So basically it's us telling Google, these are the words that we want to be found for. So can you please help me to be found with, these short keywords, these long keywords. This is where I want to be found. But it's not just the words on your website. So what often people forget, and this is super, super important, is it's how you name your images. So you need to have keywords in the names of your images. You need to have keywords in your alt text. And there's lots of little secret spots to be putting your keywords to make sure that you show up. So it's quite a common thing that people do a Google search and then they click on images. So we want your images showing up in that space. So that's a really important part as well.
And I love that, what you just said, then it's made me thinking. So it's the way that we want people to find us. So we have to make sure that we're choosing the right words for our business. So even if I'm a business coach, people might not type in business coaching. They might type in, I need clarity, or I'm understanding structure, or those type of activities that I do. So it's important for me to really understand how people are going to search for me, though, isn't it? It's not just what I want to say, it's how people might be looking for businesses like mine.
100%. It's about them, not about you. So for example, for me, for my website, I need a search phrase in there like, how do I make better email subject lines for better open rate? Because that way, then my blog, all about writing great email subject lines, that will show up, as opposed to just me thinking what people are looking for, as opposed to what they're really looking for. So if I was to think, oh, what should I put out there? It would be best practice subject lines. Well, that's not necessarily what you're going to search for, although it could be. But anyway, yeah, you've really got to think, what are those avatars, your customer avatars, searching for, not what you think they should be searching for.
So keywords are really, if we think of keywords and you say long tail keywords, we're really looking at phrases and way that people are searching for us. And you've talked before about the importance of voice search, and particularly with Siri. I use it, Siri or Alexa, whoever you're using. I do it all the time, where I will often just say, hey Siri, give me answer this question for me. And so really we're talking about how do we get those questions into our text on our website. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, absolutely. And it's really tricky because we need to write for people, not just write for Google. But a lot of people write for Google because they're like, okay, I've got to stuff it full of keywords because that's how people are going to find me. But then when you go to that website, is it a nice, readable journey that you're on? No, it's like, ooh, ooh. So it's tricky. But also, I do believe that rather than it being called a keyword, it probably should be called a key phrase, because that's really where the magic is. Like we said, how to bake a lemon cheesecake rather than just cake. So also, if we think about that photography thing, Byron Bay wedding photographer as opposed to just photographer. So we're going to get a lot more targeted opportunities rather than if we just wrote photographer. Then that could pull up, a photographer in Greece, for goodness sakes. So I really want to go Byron Bay wedding photographer. And depending on your settings in Google, you could be where you are right now in Queensland and typing in photographer. It will show you what's near you. But you're coming to do your wedding in Byron Bay, so that's why you need to put a Byron Bay wedding photographer to bring those up in another area.
And so what makes me, as you're talking about that, I'm thinking it's actually about how we actually get our website to work for us, isn't it? Because we've always talked about the website is not just a really great digital business card. It really needs to work for your business. And so using key phrases or keyword phrases, it's actually providing that kind of link between having a really beautiful website and getting people to find you using that website or using that activity that you're using.
Absolutely. So many people go to a website designer or developer or something, or they make it themselves. They make something really beautiful. They put the text in that makes sense to them, and up it goes. And then they're like, I built it and they didn't come. Where are they? What's going on? Well, firstly, it's because you probably didn't tell Google all the things that they needed to know about your business so they can then let other people know.
Yeah. I love that. So how do I find out what keywords relate to my industry or the types of things that people might be searching?
That's my favorite topic. One of them. There are so many ways that you can do it, but I have one favorite way, but I'm going to tell you about the other ways first. So if you sign up for Google Ads, you don't have to place any ads and spend any money, but once you've signed up for it, then you can create a Google Ad account. Then you can use their keyword planner tool. So that's a great little tool. You can use many things like SEMrush, we're a member of, or got a subscription for. There's all kinds of different keyword tools out there, some free, some that are paid for, et cetera, et cetera. However, in our coaching groups and in our masterclasses, I teach it a different way, and that is the organic search way, because I love everything organic that helps you find exactly what people are really doing out there. So my top tip is go to a Google search. So say for your business, let's come back to the lemon cheesecake. So let's type in there and say, so Jenni, your business is a lemon cheesecake or a cheesecake business. You're thinking, what kind of keywords am I going to put on there to make sure that I get the right people, or the right people finding my business? So, because remember also that the wrong people finding your website is actually damaging to your Google ranking, because if your keywords are misleading, or if they're the wrong keywords for your business, then I arrive on your site and within a second I've gone, because I've realized really, really quickly that's actually not where I'm meant to be. So that's far more damaging to your ranking. And what you really want is people to arrive on your site, stay there, hang out, meander around, go from blog post to page, and really explore. The longer they're there, the more Google will love you and the more they'll lift you in the rankings. So we want to get those keywords right. So what's going to happen is you're going to type into Google a lemon cheesecake, for example. You're going to see what people are actually searching for to find that lemon cheesecake. So as you're typing in, you know that different things start to appear as a little drop down, but the magic happens when you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. So don't look at all the things that come up, go straight to the bottom of the page, and it will say, oh, I'm just having a moment. Does it say people also, let me just pull it up and see. I'm pretty sure it says people also search for, or something like that. People also search for, I think those are the exact words. And then it gives you all these phrases. Oh yes, here it goes.
I've always looked at the bottom of it and I was like, oh, that's interesting how it came up with that.
Yes, so use those phrases in that exact way that they're written. Don't deviate from it. And you'll find often on those searches, at least half of them will be relevant to you. So now this is where the little rabbit warren starts, because I would suggest setting up a Google, Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet or whatever, have it sitting in there. So the way we provide it to our clients is that you have keyword or long tail keyword in there. Then we have, what page it's going to go on, when it was recently updated, a whole spreadsheet on it. So you can really do strategic things with your keywords. So you want to start with finding and researching about 50 keywords to as a beginning stage, then really aim for 100. Not on your one page, but on your website. So what you're going to do is you're going to find one of those things down the bottom. So it could be that you found one that said people also search for lemon cheesecake near me, or lemon cheesecake in Sydney, or lemon cheesecake specialty shop, or something like that. So each one of those that you think would be good and relevant for you, you're going to click on it, and then it's going to take you to another search page, and you're going to go straight to the bottom of that. And that's going to take you on all these new searches, and you're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. All those searches that you think are relevant to you, you'll copy and paste them into your spreadsheet. Then once you've got, say, for example, those first 50, or even bring it down to 20. So you got your first 20 keywords that you know people are actually searching for, and that's how they're going to find your business. Then you want to decide which one you're going to weave through on which page of your content on your website. And that's why you'll put in your spreadsheet where that keyword has been placed, so that you can see at the end of all of your project of doing this, which keywords you actually haven't put through your website and which you still need to put in there.
That is a phenomenal way of doing it. But what I love about that idea is you're also actually getting a little bit of market intelligence, aren't you? As you're doing as a business owner, you're actually starting to see how people are showing up in the types of phrases and the way that they look. So you're starting to get into the mind of your customer. You're starting to actually position yourself and you're, okay, well, how do I make my website for my customer and not for me? And we've talked about that a lot before, about the fact that the website has got nothing to do with you. It's really about your customer and helping them find you and get connected with you. And so this idea of using that organic keyword search, using those phrases, is such a beautiful way of doing it, because it's also, when I scroll to the bottom, I often do that myself, because I go through the ads, and particularly if the page is 80% ads and 2 organic searches at the bottom, I will often use one of those searches because I think, oh, that's a better phrase. That was a better way of saying my question. So I love that idea. And also it's free. So it's really just time, isn't it? It's about dedicating time every week rather than actually having to outlay funds straight up.
Absolutely. And I'm still doing that to this day. That's why I prefer to teach it that way, because it gives me a much clearer idea of exactly what you said, how other people are doing the search. So when I use the keyword planner tool on Google, for example, it will give me loads of stuff that's absolutely irrelevant to my business. So yes, it's good, but it's not as good as I want it to be. So for me, and SEMrush is just extraordinary, all of that kind of stuff, that's great. But what's your best way to really understand what you're doing is do that organic search like that, and you will be blown away by, like you just said, how many people or how many ways you can write something that you hadn't even thought about. And it's going to give you your best chance of being found by the people you want to be found by.
Love that. So another question, when we're talking about keyword phrases, sometimes particularly like how to bake a lemon cheesecake, to me that sounds very much like a topic or a blog topic. So what's the difference between keywords and topics that you share on blogs or share on the themes for your website?
Perfect question, because when you've got that list of keywords or long tail keywords or key phrases or whatever you want to call them, when you've got that list and you've woven some of them through your content, you got quite a lot left over, and you're like, what am I going to do with those? Well, hello, that's some great blog topics for you. So your keywords can be woven through your product descriptions, through your about page, through your homepage, like all the different places, but also through your blogs. So when you go to the very bottom, you can have another list in your spreadsheet that says blog post ideas. So again, though, don't deviate from the order that those phrases are written in. Take it exactly how it is, and then use that as a topic for your blog post, or put it in the first paragraph of your blog post, etc. So yeah, really great way to get found. And so a blog post is really just another part of your website, but I like to talk about it as another part of your digital marketing strategy. So you've still got your website, but I think SEO is another part of your strategy, and blogs are another part of your strategy. They're both extremely important to nail to really get found.
When we talk about SEO or search engine optimization, so keywords really fall under that banner, isn't it, about how to optimize your website?
Yes, absolutely. So without your keywords, how are you going to get found? So with those keywords too, then you can go, okay, I'm going to put those into my image names now. So if you've got a WordPress site or a Wix site, it's fairly easy to update the names, because you're probably like, if you're listening to this, or Jenni, you might think for yourself with your own website, oh, crikey, I never thought about my images. So possibly my entire website needs to be redone. Well, all you need to do for that is just jump into the back end where your image gallery is and just update the names in there. But the most important thing is that you think about the way that you write those. So let's say that the keyword is Byron Bay wedding photographer. We can't just write it like that, because if there's spaces in the image name, Google sees that as one word run all together. Yep. If we put underscores in it, which you'll see a lot, Google sees that as one word all run together. So what you absolutely have to do is Byron Bay wedding photographer. And you could have many words in there. It doesn't matter. And also then if you want to differentiate between them, you could then say blue sea after Byron Bay wedding photographer. You could say mountains or hills or anything that you want to, but you need to describe what's going on in that photo, and then what is your business, for example.
I love that. So rather than sort of describing the picture saying girl on beach, because that's irrelevant to me as a business owner, if I did, lemon cheesecake girl on beach, for example, then that's the picture that's going to find me through the lemon cheesecake, but then it describes the image as well.
Yes. So let's describe this image right now of you and I. If we took a screenshot of this right now, I'm going to way overdo it in terms of length, but just saying it so that you can see all of the ways that we could write it. So it would say, I'm not going to say hyphen, but imagine. So Kylie Mowbray-Allen hello media etc. Jenni Walke, bite-sized conversations, Zoom, business, coaching, all those kinds of things, because it's describing what we're doing and it's describing what's in that image.
And that's actually if you have this image on lots of different platforms. So it might be on Facebook or Insta or a web page or other things. If we name it all those different things, it would come up with all the different searches. So someone may find us through a Zoom. On my website, it might be listed as Jenni Walke business coaching bite size. You might have the same but add digital marketing. So it will come up if someone does digital marketing, it will come up if someone does business coaching, because the keywords and then our images comes up. So I love that you can then utilize that in multiple different ways and then access searches, multiple different searches then.
Yes. So my old e-commerce business that I sold. So let's take, for example, it was called Rainbows in Clover, and let's say the product was Kids Teepee. There's a gazillion Kids Teepees. So what I need to make sure is that the images were really, really clear. So it could be kids outdoor teepees, kids playroom teepees, etc. But then what would happen is you would type into Google looking for a kid's teepee, and you're overwhelmed by there's so many things. And of course, it's just add. So you click on images, and then you see all the kids' teepees. That's magic because it's a visual thing. Buying a product is definitely visual. So then you look around, and with the Rainbows in Clover kids' teepees, there was multiple times you would see my photos because they not only were on my retail website, they were on my wholesale website, and then they would go out to all of my stockists, and they would use the same images, and they would just keep coming up. So depending if you wanted to buy one locally near you or online, you had all these opportunities. So naming those images is vitally important. So you might think as a business coach, no one's going to click on images if they're looking for me, but they may not even know they were looking for you. They might have been looking for something completely different. There you appear because one of those words in there is relevant, and then boom, they find you, they want to connect with you.
I love that. So because for me, I always thought keywords and then the labeling of your images were different. So I didn't realize the connection. So that I'm sure for a lot of people listening, that's a really great point of clarity to say that we need to make sure that our keywords are not just in our text, but they're on our images and essentially anywhere that's searchable, isn't it? So anything that's searchable on, and I guess it links to the same with Instagram with the hashtags. That's a version of keywords for Instagram, I imagine, and now for Facebook is that you can see sometimes there are people doing large phrases as hashtags. So it's, hashtag, be strong, or hashtag I can do hard things, or all the kind of very long phrases that you use for hashtags now is essentially that search engine's version of keywords.
Yes. So I say to people the same thing as I just said with the Google one when you're doing a hashtag search as well on Instagram to create your collections. So yes, you can go and type in best keywords for hairdressers, but forget that. What you want to do is go to Instagram yourself, type in hashtag plants, and then all the different hashtags will come up. You want to start go into each one, follow that hashtag, see how people are using it to make sure you're not using a banned hashtag. And then also you might find actually the stuff people are posting in there isn't really what I want to be connected with. It's not going to find me the right audience, so I'm not going to use that hashtag. So it's a really great way, again, to do that search organically. It'll take more time, but you'll get much more rewards in the long run by doing it yourself.
I've noticed that when I was working with a client, we were looking at hashtags for their Instagram site, and some of the hashtags that they were using were going to quite generic pages where the images that were being used on that hashtag had nothing really to do with the topic. It was because there was a legacy item or they were using an old hashtag, and so they were coming up on a page and it didn't relate. So when we tweaked the hashtag, it actually started bringing up something that was relevant to them. It was in this particular, it was a fashion house, and so they'd use kind of fashion house or designer, and designer comes up with so many different things that has nothing to do with actual clothes. So how do we actually identify those? So I love that connection of making sure that we're using the right hashtag or the right keyword for our business, not just one that we think sounds all right. So do a little bit of research, take that time to make sure you're finding the right ones that fit your business.
Yes. So I have a pizza restaurant client in Byron Bay. So if they use the hashtag pizza, what's that going to get them? They're going to be competing with pizza in Italy and pizza everywhere. It's not relevant because you can't buy that pizza online. So they're not, competing with all those people. That's just crazy. That would be more if they were just trying to build a massive following, but it's actually not going to get them customers and bums on seats. So we really want to focus on what's our end game here. So what we want to use is pizza Byron Bay pizza, best pizza in Byron Bay. And then also we want to do Byron Bay holidays. We want to do Byron Bay vegan eats, all kinds of different things, because I may not have even known I was looking for pizza. I might be vegan and think, oh, what can I eat? And I'm following the vegan eats hashtag of Byron Bay. And then up it comes Earth and Sea Pizza. And I'm like, I didn't even know that they did vegan pizzas. Yes, that's so awesome. And then you just suddenly got yourself a new customer.
I love that. And so there's so many, and I mean, we could talk about keywords for probably days and days and days, because I know it's one of your favorite topics. But what would be the top 3 tips you would have for people when they're using keywords? So definitely the organic search is one of the ones that I'm taking away from this, is taking that time to do that organic search process. But what are some of the tips that you would give out to anybody listening who's just kind of dabbling in the keyword model kind of space?
I'm with you. I'm putting that organic search as top tip number 1, because you can't really start weaving keywords through your content till you've actually researched your keywords. And you really need to understand how and why people are searching. So that's such a great way of doing it. Just pushing Poppy down. So that's the first one for sure. Then start working out where you're going to put those keywords. So put them in your images, put them in your content, work out what blog posts, that need to be written, or work out what blog posts you can weave it through and repurpose, etc. Then the third would be that we haven't touched on, and I just don't want to go into complicated stuff here, but things like your titles, your meta tags, all of that, it absolutely needs to have your keywords in there. So what I often see is people in the titles of their pages that they've named the page their website, like their business name. So you don't need to do that. It's already in there in your URL, for example. So what you would need to do is, say it was at Kids Teepee, it would need to say Kids Teepee, and then I like to use pipe. Then it would be Byron Bay pipe outdoor adventures, or whatever, something along those lines. Yeah, so really important to make sure that those keywords are in there. And then, of course, through your first, say, 3 lines or your first paragraph of your descriptions, really needs a good keyword in there. I think I've got to add a 4th tip, because we said 3, but I'm going for 4. The 4th one is don't keyword stuff. So everybody suddenly gets on the bandwagon. I've got to sort out my keywords. And then they go, here's my 20 keywords. I'm putting them all on the same page. But Google will penalize you for that, because all you're doing is just, sort of the equivalent of spam. You just stuff, and it's not actually making sense. So yet again, remember, write for people, don't write for Google.
So they're great tips. So we've got organic search, which I think is definitely up there, making sure they're covered in all the different elements of the business. So images, all parts of the website, so images, tags, obviously within our blogs, that meta search, that back end piece that you talked about, which I think is really critical. And every time we talk about that, it blows my mind the different places we can put this. So if we're going to learn, how do we find out more about this? How can we learn how to do this for ourselves? Because you run a coaching program that talks about this. So how do we connect with you to learn more about this?
So jump onto hellomedia.team on the website, or join my Facebook group, or just reach out on Messenger, or whichever way you'd like to. And you can start the super simple way just by joining our group coaching. So our base level place to hang out, because we cover all the aspects of digital marketing. So we have massive packs of time where we work on keywords and all the other things to do with SEO. And then we move on to, at the moment, we're doing our customer journey funnel and making sure what's going on at the top of our funnel in terms of Facebook and Instagram, and where are we being seen. So yeah, we go through the whole gamut of everything, and we really get it nutted out. Then the next one up is doing masterclasses and all of that too. But a great place to start is that group coaching level. But of course, there's loads of blog posts and stuff that we've got a few on our website. So yeah, that's a good place to start too. It's just reading some blogs.
And of course, you've got your Facebook, Hello Media Facebook page, as well as the Passionate Purposeful Women group that I know you have lots of great content that you share in those spaces too. So if you're interested in doing keyword, definitely reach out to Kylie, because there's lots of research and lots of assets that you provide that people can see through those Facebook groups, or on your group, of course.
Thanks, Jenni. That's lovely. And how can people reach out and connect with you?
So they can connect with me at Elephant in the Room AU on Insta and Facebook. They're the places I tend to hang out the most. And from there, you can find our website. You can reach out to us on a private message and connect with us for a chat about business structure and clarity. But then once you learn the business, you develop the business, we need to kind of get that technical detail, don't we, about how to get found, how to make people come to us, and how to really grow the business organically through that digital marketing aspect, which I think is the piece where people tend to get stuck. They build a business, and as you say, I built the business, but will they come? How do we get them to come? How do we get them to actually find us and knock on our door, digitally or in reality? And the keywords are a really great way to start that.
Yeah, you're so right. And it's never ending. We've just got a little message here in the chat from Sue Murphy. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Sue's business is Column Batty Naturals. And she says, I highly recommend Hello Media group coaching. A great topic, ladies. Sue has been doing our group coaching for a wee while, and her business is just glorious.
Amazing.
And she makes all her divine products. But yeah, she already had a great website. So it's just learning how to tweak things and what you need to add in and what's not needed, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's always important to keep remembering that we need to keep learning. We need to keep growing and keep upskilling so that we can do business better.
100%. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure we've got lots of things to talk about for people to think about today. So get onto your keywords, start that organic search, reach out to Kylie or myself if you have any questions. Now, we're not here next week. We're both traveling next week, but we'll be back again in 2 weeks' time to chat with you more and talk about business and how to get found, how to get seen, and how to build a great sustainable business.
Yes, can't wait. Have a great week next week, Jenni. And I know you too. Big business week of traveling, and I've got a big week of holidaying in Tasmania.
So I'm so excited that you're taking your break, and I cannot wait to hear about it.
Me too. So we'll catch you all the following week, and have a great long weekend, everyone, as well. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.